and I'll say that again. My name is Badr Kabaz, and I'm the National Manager for SecureExchange. Junalise is our account manager. She's on board here, and she is your direct contact at this point. So I might start off just introducing what SecureExchange is and what it's all about. And if we go back 3.5, 4 years ago, which is when it was born, just prior to that was the idea where it was born. And it all started when our chairman at the time, Stephen Wood, was buying property, and his law firm sent them their trust account details via email. That was confirmed over the phone, made sure that they had the correct details. It's what we call multi-factor authentication. Now, he's bought property before, so he picked up on this, but about an hour later, he received an identical looking email with the trust account details that were slightly different. And so he picked up on that and picked up the phone, called the law firm again, and at that point understood that those were fraudulent account details. Someone had intercepted that communication, changed the account details, and tried to communicate that in an unsafe way. Now, traditionally, law firms, conveyancers, agents are handling big sums of money in and out of trust and using really unsafe methods at the moment: phone, text messages, emails, without verifying information. And in some cases, just like the one I mentioned, they have verified the information. They verified the information, but a second email went out, and an unknowing purchaser could have actioned that second email. And what you'll see in the media quite a bit, if you've seen any cyber threats go through the real estate industry and mentioned in the media, they will always point the finger back at the agent and the brand. And so what we've got is a product like SecureExchange, and again, why it was born, to securely share your trust account details, as well as sensitive records like contracts of sale and other documentation through a secure portal. So we're replacing email, and we're introducing that with SecureExchange. SecureExchange will allow you to share your trust account details, obtain client bank details backed by a $1 million guarantee that it is safe by us. So you don't have to worry about that side of it anymore. Within that same environment, you can upload a contract of sale and other documentation and use DocuSign to sign documents. The cost to Oxbridge is completely complimentary. Okay, it doesn't cost you anything to use. So feel free to jump on board and play around with it. If you don't have a login, please see Mackenzie, who will obviously reach out to Juna, and we'll get that set up and get you up and running. Today, I'm going to go through a scenario with you to show you how you can share your trust account details, upload a contract of sale, get that signed, and it'll also show you from the purchaser's perspective what they see from their end. So how quickly and easily they can action items from their perspective too, just to give you a feel for it all the way through. So allow me to share my screen here. I'm just going to bring up our environment. So just give me one moment. Here we go. Okay, so you're looking at a SecureExchange dashboard right now. Okay, I've logged in over here. If I log out and log back in, it'll ask you for your email address and your password. You log in. The first time you log in, it'll also do a multi-factor authentication. So it'll ask you to enter the 6-digit code sent to your mobile phone, and then you're in. Now, you don't have to do that every time unless you change computers or browsers. Okay, so let's use a hypothetical here. If a hacker had access to your email and mobile number, it'll prompt the SMS code as well. Okay, once you've created a safe device, you can continue to use that all the way through. So what you can see here is a dashboard with all these different matters up on screen. So what I'm going to do over here with this big green button, the big green button in the top right corner, is actually create a new workspace. So this is where it all starts. So if I hit new transaction, and it obviously defaults to property and conveyancing, I start with the property address that we've got. So I'm just going to put a random in here. Let's go Hope Street in Brisbane. And I can set a purchase price or an amount. Okay, it's just a guide. It might be the guide there of the property, but I'm not going to put that in there right now. Let's keep it really basic. 58 Hope Street. Now, each Oxbridge has their own trust account. Okay, so we will verify those details and lock them down into the environment so that if you go to share your trust account details here, this account will be able to be shared. Okay, until you have had that verified by us, it can't be shared. So we'll make sure that that's ready to go for you. So I'm just going to lock that one down. So the transfer details, what's this for? Let's say it's for a deposit of $20,000 and the reference is 58 Hope. So it automatically pulls through the property address. It gives you something to obviously cross-reference when the client makes the payment. You can change that. And who are you sharing that with? So in this case, we're sharing this with the purchaser. And my purchaser today is a man by the name of Barry Stevens. And their email address and their mobile number. Purchasers do not have to have a SecureExchange account. What's going to happen is, and I'm going to show you how this works from my end. Barry is going to receive an email invitation to come in. And then when he goes to come in, it's going to prompt him to enter a 6-digit code sent to the mobile phone. That is all that is required from Barry to come into the environment. Okay. So right now, the only instruction I've created is a deposit into our trust account. Over here, I'm also going to upload the contract of sale. So apologies here. I know I put a Queensland address in, but I've got a New South Wales contract in there. So let's just upload that one in here. If there's another document you're uploading, you can upload that in here. It might be, obviously it's not going to be an agency agreement. This is probably already done with the vendor earlier. Whatever it might be, you can upload other documents in here for signing as well. Okay. So at this point, I'm just uploading a contract of sale in the contracts area and hitting create transaction. This is creating my workspace. This is what a workspace looks like. So let's revisit that really quickly. I put in a new transaction. I put in an address. I shared bank details and just filled out some of those fields. I added my purchaser, dropped a contract in there, and I've created a workspace. Okay. Now, you don't have to drop a contract in there. It might have been that I'm just sharing the trust account details at this point. You might do just share the contract at that point. When you come in here, you can always set new instructions up. Okay, I can drop another contract in here. I can drop another document in here now. So you don't have to do everything all in once. Okay, for the sake of this webinar, I have. So you got two tabs: the funds request, where I share and obtain financial information; documents, where I've got the contract to sale and other documentation. On the far right-hand side are the parties that I can bring into my safe, secure room, my workspace. Okay, so we can bring in the purchaser representative, the legal representative. We can bring in the legal representative on the vendor end. We can invite the vendor in as well. And we can bring multiple purchasers and vendors in here. Okay, we've only got the one listed in here all the way through. And you can see here that I'm the admin user. Okay, so let's start with sending this document out for signing. So here's our property. If I go send for signing, I am now using DocuSign. So let's add signers. And I can add a custom message in there for Barry. Okay, you might be saying, hi, Barry, need you to sign this contract, whatever it might be. Okay, and then we go next. Now, if you've used DocuSign, this is going to be a little bit familiar with you, and in the same breath, not so familiar. That's because we've played around with DocuSign just to allow the tags that you will predominantly use. Okay, DocuSign's got a whole heap of different tags. These are the ones really related to conveyancing. Now, in a New South Wales contract, what happens is they've got a sign over here. So let's put the purchaser signature here. If you need to put a date on there, you could put a date on there. Okay, let's just do that for the sake here. If you need someone to initial something, you can always put an initial box in there. So you've got different tags that you can apply. If there were multiple people in here, the second person would most likely come up as yellow with yellow tags, and then maybe green tags and so on. So Barry is blue, you drag them across. The next person, you drag their tags across. So mark up the contract. For those who haven't used DocuSign, it's very, very similar to a hard copy document. If you remember those little yellow stickers that say sign here and date here, and I need you to do this here, you're marking up the actions electronically on a form. Okay, that's how DocuSign works. Now, once you've applied all those tags, top right corner, big green button, finish and send. There we go. So I've done two things now. I've asked my purchaser to sign a contract, and I've now asked them to also pay money into my trust account. All right. So let's go ahead and do that right now. If you bear with me, I am, fingers crossed, this is all, IT is going to be my friend right now. So I will try and share my phone up on the screen. and I'll behave as Barry Stevens, the purchaser. So let's give that a moment. Great. Juno, thumbs up. Can you see my phone? Fantastic. All right. So over here's my phone. If I go to my Gmail, there's my actions as the purchaser. Okay. So let's go ahead and just do the top one for now. It doesn't matter because I've set up multiple instructions. Each instruction you set up, there will be an email sent out. Okay. That means if I shared my trust account details one day, the next day I then uploaded a contract, I'll be invited in with each action. Okay. Now, if you've set up multiple ones, it doesn't matter which email they go to. It'll talk them through when they get in there. So here it is, Barry Stevens. You've been requested to sign a document via DocuSign. There's my little custom message in the middle. Hi, Barry, I need you to sign this contract. Now, when Barry hits review and sign document, it'll take him to SecureExchange and then prompt the SMS code. Now, if I've entered in the correct mobile number, which I have, there we go. I enter in the 6-digit code and I'm in. Let's sign the contract. So if I sign that, you can see the big logo up the top. It's my little makeshift SecureExchange real estate agency logo. This will be all Oxbridge branded. So when the client comes in, it'll come into the Oxbridge branded platform. So I'm going to agree to use electronic records and signatures and hit sign, hit start, and it's going to take me to my actions. Now look at my actions there. The date automatically goes on there. A signature can be placed. And then I would go next, and it'll take me to the next action. And in here, Barry Stevens initials. And there we go. I'm done. Why? Because at the finish button up the top doesn't have the next button there. If it did, it will go next and it'll take them to the next page where you've allocated an action. In this case, I'm done. So I'm just going to hit finish. And what it's going to do is it's going to close that action and then it's going to open up the trust account request. There we go. Signing complete. Now I need to pay a deposit of $20,000 into the SecureX Sales Trust account. So if I hit show, I can see the full contact details in there. What your communication to your client should be is, I will never send you a text message or an email telling you to pay money into this account. The only email you're going to get is invitation into SecureExchange. I only want you accessing information within SecureExchange, and your funds are guaranteed by us. That's as simple as the messaging goes. Okay. So if I go to my bank now and I pay that $20,000 and I make that transfer, I've got that proof of payment button. I can click that. I'll take a photo of a receipt. So if I come across over here to my notepad, I've got a little receipt. There we go. Use photo. And that's going to upload that in there. And you as the agent will receive a text message to let you know that on 58 Hope Street, you have received proof of payment and the signed contract. So that's what prompts you to come back in. So from the client's perspective, you can see that receipt's been dropped into other documents. The contract is on the top there, one of one signatures, and we're done. Okay, so that's it. They can leave that. So if I go back to my screen now, and let's refresh this. When I come back into the environment, this pop-up is going to come up on screen. It's going to say all parties have signed the contract. So basically, what do I want to do? First thing that I want to do is actually view. Okay, so when I open that up, I can see what's happened. Let's make sure I've got everything on there. Yes, my signature's on there, dates on there, the initials on there. Great. Now, have a look at these tags down here. Okay, first one is for New South Wales clients. Let's not worry about that. That's when you can plant a date on the contract. Now, in some cases, you might want to do that. In Queensland, for example, I know that they want to put a date on there as well and send that out to all parties. I've received the contract on this date. Here you go. Okay, so you can do that. If I hit date and exchange, it allows me to go and put a date across as myself as a signer and go, I want a date on this part of the contract, and then send, and it adds that in there and maintains the same DocuSign envelope all the way through. I may have forgotten someone. Let's say, for example, let's use this as a scenario. Purchasers have signed this contract. Vendor has accepted. I now want the vendor to sign this contract. I don't need to re-upload that back in there. I can just go add signers and then bring in further tags for the vendor. We keep that DocuSign envelope open so you can continue to add people into the signing order all the way through. Okay, it just makes the process a little bit more efficient. That's what June is there for. If you get stuck and you're not sure, you pick up the phone and go, I've got a contract, can I do one with you? And that's exactly what she's there for. She does a great job at it. Now, down below is your finish signing button. What does finish signing mean? Well, I'm finished signing. Let's close this DocuSign envelope and we're done. Okay. So you know what I might do? I might use the date and exchange feature and go, I want a date and complete contract. Now, when I'm done, everyone here is going to receive a copy. So if I go date and complete, there's me. And what I want to do, I just want to put a contract date here to say, yep, I'm happy with that. That's the date it's gone out. Finish and send. It's opening up DocuSign for me now. And this will just take a few seconds, so don't mind the quiet noise in between. It's now loading up. I agree, continue, date goes on the contract, I hit finish, everyone gets a copy. It's that easy. No need to print, write the date, scan, send back out, use Adobe, PDF editors or anything like that. You can do that all in this workspace here. All right. So a few things have happened. This has been paid. If I go to documents, I've got proof of payment. The contract is exchanging or it's completing. There we go. And the banks sometimes will ask you for this. It's what they call a completion certificate. What a completion certificate is, DocuSign acts as an electronic witness proving that Barry signed this contract through IP address, date and time, location, etc., etc. Banks sometimes will ask for that, and you can always download that from here. We automatically bring that back. When the money hits your trust account, okay, you wouldn't do this beforehand. When the money is actually being received, you can mark it as complete, confirm, goes completed, and sends Barry a text message that thumbs up, money's in our trust account. Thank you very much. If you are providing trust receipts, you can always go back to documents and just literally drag and drop one in there for Barry. Okay, you can keep everything here all in one space. All right. That is the end of the demonstration of how it all works. I thought let's keep this really basic. I'm glad there's a recording there. You can always go back and forth. But again, what I personally recommend is if you haven't used this 2 or 3 times and you're not used to it yet, you pick up the phone, you let Juna know, I've got a contract to do, or I need to share my trust account details. Let us know when you've got one to do. We'll help you through the first 1 or 2. I've never had an agent come back the 2nd or 3rd time after that. Okay, but that's what we're there to do. Handhold in the first instance, and then we can support from there. So let me stop sharing here. Mackenzie, I'll throw it back to you for a moment. Are we asking for questions? Does anyone have any questions? All good? Thank you. It means we've done a great job. What do you reckon, Mackenzie?
Yep, that sounds good to me.
All right, fantastic. Well, look, we'll wrap it up. So it's a nice, clean recording for you. Appreciate everyone's time. And if you need to reach out, like I said, let us know. Junalisa's email address is you can see her name there, JUNALICE.Alvaro, ALVARO, at Infotrack, INFOTRACK.com.au. If there's anything that we can do to support, like I said, all you can do is reach out. Thank you, everyone.
Guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye.